I guess in this correlation, Cole would be Melo, and Kendrick would be LeBron. Now, Kendrick just dropped a new
Oh,
record. Well,
speaking of
not
him,
really. He didn't drop a new record. He was at a fashion show, Paris Fashion Week.
no, this
Paris
is no
Fashion
Mike. This is
dropped.
part of how records drop now. Mike, Diet Coke dropped that New York Fashion Week, so
That's true. So he was at the was
yeah,
it the Chanel show? And so he
I
was
don't know.
playing something unreleased. The reason why I didn't say it was new because they say it's unreleased. That means that maybe it could have been laying
They
around.
always say that when it comes to him, Mike.
They do.
They always say that bullshit. No, this is just some unreleased stuff. You mean the stuff that wasn't good enough to come out because nothing good enough has come out? And like,
What were your
how
thoughts on
how
the
far are
song?
we removed from Damn now? You know, we're like 7 years removed from Damn, Mike.
We are. We're 7 years removed. Damn, we're going on
It
10
came
years
out.
removed from damn.
It came up. It came out in April of 2017, right?
Yep.
April or May.
It was April, I believe. Mm. Okay. Well, what were your thoughts on the record that you heard? That could be new, or it could be 3, 4 years old. Who knows?
That record ain't no damn good, Mike.
Think Kendrick's done?
Yeah, it might be time to wrap this up.
Mm.
It might be time to wrap this up. Because here's the thing about it.
Mm, mm, mm. If he's
Why?
done,
Why?
I don't want to cut you off. Go ahead. Finish your thought. I'll hold.
No, you go
I
ahead.
was just gonna
You go
ask you, like,
ahead.
if he's done though, what does that do for his all-time ranking? I know that we've said in the past he was on the trajectory for being top 10. Billboard put him at top 2 all time. They had him at number 2 next to Jay. If this is what his career is, and this is where it ends from a quality rap standpoint, where does this put him?
Well, he was never number two, Mike. That's the
Yeah,
first thing.
yeah, that we
Um,
agree on.
I mean, like, no. First of all, I just want to say this is like, think about all the hell we just gave J. Cole for being pretty much the best verse maker of the past 3, 4 years, but not having an album. Mike, isn't the off season better than Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers?
I think it is. Yeah,
Haven't Cole's verses been verse of the year caliber, almost every single one of them over the last 3 years? Like almost
yeah.
every single verse has been verse of the year caliber.
You didn't
Okay?
like the Kendrick verse on the Beyonce remix?
You can keep that. Um, and so
You don't believe?
if we're being this hard on Cole, Mike, and Cole is out here producing verse of the year contenders and still making quality albums that are 4 out of 5, and then if you factor in the fact that the Dreamville mixtape was fucking great as well, and we're telling him that he needs to step it up and make a great album, and the general consensus for most people because of the album making is that Kendrick is ahead of J. Cole. Do you know what type of treatment he really deserves? Because really, by us not saying anything about it, we're really just being nice because he really just hasn't been performing. We're being hard on J. Cole because J. Cole's actually been performing, and we're like, perform like that on an album. I don't even know if this guy can perform anymore, Mike.
Yeah.
And it's and so where we sliding him is behind Cole and Drake until further notice in this generation. That's where we definitely sliding him. When you're 7 years removed from a quality project and you don't even come out and do verses, and when you do, they're definitely not a J. Cole's caliber.
No. You know,
Definitely not.
he needs a stop the
He's not,
world moment. He really does. Like, I think that
he's not battle tested, Mike.
right.
He hasn't made a good album in 7 years. There are no verses to speak of to even make us want to anticipate the album the way we're anticipating J. Cole is going to do something. There is no crew or collective. Like, he does not have a JID in his wheelhouse.
No. No. Baby Keem is not JID.
And so it's going from a situation where we thought he was going to be competing for the all-time spot, Mike. So I don't even know if he's top 20 all-time anymore.
Yeah, we're gonna
Like,
have to
I
see
can't
more.
put Mike. Cool G Rap is still rapping, Mike.
The problem here is, and you're right, the problem here is that gap between Damn and Mr. Morale. And the fact that we got very little to nothing in between that 5 year break. And I think that 5 year break kind of threw him off too. But the album that we received, some very dope writing on there, but it's not to the form of what we're used to. It's not even close. And then the stuff that we're getting after this, the hillbilly stuff, no features. His feature catalog is already kind of a little weak compared to some of his contemporaries.
It ain't kind
And
of weak,
none
Mike.
of
It's
those
weak.
things have improved. You know what I mean? And so everybody else is continuing to work. And I think that the biggest thing, too, his generation is a heavy material generation. And you don't release often. And now, in the past 7 years, the few times you did peek outside, it was lackluster. That brings you down a lot.
These are self-inflicted wounds. We didn't do this to him. He did it to himself. And I'm just going to tell you the truth, Mike. When I look back at it now, he seems to have thought too much of himself during his peak.
You could tell that you get the notion from Kendrick that he feels like he can literally say, you know what, I'm better than everybody else. I don't have to do everything that everybody else does. I don't have to work as hard as everybody else. Now, I will give Drake that. Drake, for whatever people think about his material, I mean, he's top of the mountain when it comes to all the numbers and the hits and all that shit. He doesn't have to make as much music as he does. He really doesn't, but he does it.
Drake could retire right now, Mike.
I give him credit for that.
He could retire right now.
And like he said at his most recent concert, he understands that, or one of his recent concerts, he understands that the music is for the people, and he's going to continuously give the people music and material, and not just sitting here saying, you know what, I'll come outside whenever I want to. But when you make that choice to come outside whenever you want to, everything we hear needs to feel like, okay, it was worth the wait. What I heard at the Chanel show, in the words of Drake, it's some privileged rapper shit. Like, you feel like, I think that somebody on Twitter said this, somebody from TDE, I believe, said we didn't deserve another Kendrick effort. This was between the break, right? And it's like, and I think that mentality that we're not worthy of his studio time or something, like, bro, the music is not reflecting that. And even if you feel that way, like on some Prince and Michael shit, you gotta prove that, man. You gotta prove that on record. You can't drop a Mr. Morale in the Big Steppers. You can't drop no record like that shit at the Chanel joint and think people are really gonna be talking about it. It's gotta be worth the wait. It has to be.
Imagine, Mike, I want you to actually imagine this since you're bringing it up. Imagine somebody from within Prince and Mike's camp telling people, you don't deserve music from Prince. You don't deserve music
Right.
from Michael Jackson. Do you know how that would even come off for them being his iconic and like we are talking? I don't care what genre of music you're talking about. You're talking about two of the five probably greatest artists to ever live. Is that fair?
Mm-hmm.
Imagine them saying that and how arrogant and condescending it sounds even from them. How does it sound coming from this rapper that's not even top 10?
Yeah. You got to prove that. And then on top of this, back to Drake
Mike,
again. Drake is actually
like
wide open throwing shots. We get nothing.
nobody, like Mike, do you think any of these Kendrick albums are better than A Death Certificate by Ice Cube?
No.
So
No.
you're not even Ice Cube and you're talking this way?
No.
Because Ice Cube isn't even in the GOAT conversations anymore. It's more of a Tupac, Rakim, Big, Nas, Jay thing.
He
Like,
should be. But yeah, I get what you're saying.
you get what I'm saying? No, I'm just going to like in top 10, like a Scarface, a Ice Cube. It's like, you're not even that. Do you know how like Scarface's catalog literally dwarfs Kendrick's catalog? Like
Facts.
dwarfs.
I want to put
And
this
so
in
when
the
niggas
chat.
is talking, so when niggas is talking like we don't deserve another Kendrick album, no, nigga, Kendrick don't deserve us. You got it backwards. And that's what I mean about how I don't like the way this whole situation is played out and how it feels, because he really thought And I think his camp made him believe this or whatever. He the biggest thing that ever happened to hip hop, and it's like, nah, fam, you got to go earn that shit out here. Like, and at
Every
least
day.
Cole verse wise, Cole verse wise is going out here and earning his respect. At least he's making it so that people are pulling up in our chat and saying, well, nah, he might have been MC of the year last year based on his verses, because he actually has enough stellar verses that you can actually even say that it's plausible. It's like, what has this guy done the last 7 years, Mike?
I put in the
Like,
chat,
for real.
is Kendrick a top 10 MC all time? And right
Like,
now,
like
it's looking
Mike.
like 91% no.
Like, what has he done in the last 7 years, Mike, that he even warrants the amount of time that we're spending to talk about him, other than the fact that he's Kendrick and he made Good Kid, Mad City, and he made To Pimp a Butterfly and Damn. Because here's the thing: if that's the case, we need to be talking about Kane more for because Kane made Long Live the Kane. We talk about Kendrick more than we talk about Rakim on here.
You're right. This is what I was going to say too, man. We look at somebody like Snoop Dogg.
Shit is
And
wild. And the
Snoop
music
Dogg
is
has an
whack as fuck,
incredible
Mike.
Snoop has an incredible career because he kept actually making music. For whatever people want to think about, the people who say that Snoop has one classic or whatever, that's fine if you feel that way. But the fact that Snoop continuously gave us music and continuously gave us albums and hit songs, that has to stand for something too. You know what I mean? It's easy to just hide out and just rest on your legacy because that's what it feels like Kendrick is doing at this point. I think he's resting on Good Kid, Mad
But
City.
this is what.
Actually, To Pimp a Butterfly is what he's really resting on. And damn.
But look, Mike, that's what I'm trying to say is like, first of all, Good Kid, Mad City ain't no fucking Doggy Style, so you don't get to sit on no laurels like that.
No.
And To Pimp a Butterfly isn't It Takes a Nation of Millions.
I think
So
he's been
fuck
told
that
it's
shit.
his song.
We'll pull up to according to hip hop. I'll tell your ass that it's not that.
Brandon with the
I
super
told you,
chat.
Mike. Mike, hold on, real quick. I told you, if Snoop never rapped again after Doggy Style off Deep Cover and The Chronic and Doggy Style alone, that's greater than Kendrick's whole fucking career. He ain't got it like Snoop. He ain't no fucking Snoop.
Brandon with the
You
super
didn't make
chat
Doggy
says,
Style, nigga.
as a biased Chicagoan, Knicks ownership is still trash. Shout out to James Dolan. I'm with you on there too. Knicks ownership ain't that much better. I'll have to give Chicago more credit than James Dolan because at least
I'm about to
Chicago
say
got the championships.
Chicago's ownership is better than the Knicks ownership, but yes,
It is, of course, it is. And they don't throw
Back,
out they don't throw their Chicago legends out of their arena either.
did somebody really say from TDE that we don't deserve another Kendrick album?
I'll find the tweet. Yeah, it was something along
Find that
those lines.
tweet.
Yeah, I'll find it.
Man, kiss my ass, nigga.
It was during that
Kiss my
break, and that kind of
ass.
rubbed me the wrong way too. I was like, once again, it felt like deflecting. Like, okay, you ain't got the material. That's why y'all sitting here, you know what I'm saying, acting like we don't deserve it. If you got it, you got it.
Mike, does Kendrick even have 6 albums that compete with this Nas and Hit Boy run? Damn Illmatic and It Was Written in the Lost Tapes and Stillmatic. Do you have 6 fucking albums that the guy from 47 to 50 made?
Well, we just saw 80 songs from that album run, so I guess we could line them up if we wanted to. Mad Max with
But
the
do Kendrick? I want to hear somebody from TDE line them songs up. Nas just had a better career in 3 years than this nigga's had since he pulled up.
Mad Max with the super chat says Cole is KD or Kawhi, not Melo. Huh. James Smith with the super chat says Cole has the fans that tell him that he's the greatest rapper ever. I doubt any of Melo's fans think that he's the greatest basketball player ever. Good point. Me being one, and I love Melo. Mad Max with the super chat says, how is Dot Bron? He'd be Wade or D Will. What the hell? We got to give Kendrick some credit. I mean, they kind of put him as the number one guy in this generation. They do. He had him number 2 all time. Sean Dupree with the super chat says, "No, we did." Vultures, Havoc's version, and his resurgence. Thoughts? I got to hear it. Are we talking about Nighttime Vultures or are we talking about Kanye Vultures? Sounds like they're talking about Kanye Vultures. Some more
Kanye.
super chats here before we get on with the show. Andrew Williams with the super chat says, not to mention when Kendrick was in his prime, it was a weak era. I ain't gonna lie, I think Kendrick's done. He's not top 20.
Mike has said that all the time. And I see all the little Kendrick stands leaving the chat. Leave. Nigga ain't like that. He ain't like that, Mike. It ain't like
Andrew
that.
Williams. Yeah, it be like that, man. The Kendrick fans are hardcore. I give y'all that. Andrew Williams with the
Right.
super chat says, these backpack dudes ain't who people think they is. You sound like Coop.
What I told you, Mike. About to say, Mike, what I tell you about all these mixed messages about religion and spirituality with no real explanation. Like, I know Still Here be in the chat, like Still Here be going at me and stuff, but it's like, oh no, like I put my iniquity up on stage for everybody to see weekly. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's like, for whatever you may think about me and my beliefs, it's like, no, I'm willing to stand here on my beliefs, like curse words, shaky language sometime at all, because I know who I am and I don't mind revealing my iniquity. And so, like, the way that this nigga hide, like, yeah, that shit be making me feel some type of way. Like, you know what I mean? Like straight up, because it's like you're 7 years removed from quality material, sir. That's really what's going on. I told you I'm always going to go back to the quality of the music. You are 7 years removed from quality material. If somebody was 7 years removed from quality material, Mike, we wouldn't be running around campaigning for him the way he's getting campaigned for.
It's true.
We would
And
call his ass.
we do have questions on how well an album like Damn is aged. Shit, even the Pimp a Butterfly.
Mike,
I love to Pimp a Butterfly.
Mike, are you even sure? Is he even a better MC than Kanye, Mike? Not artist, but is he a better MC than Kanye?
I mean, people would say on the rapidy rap shit, sure, but you know, his ability,
Where, Mike?
ability to make people feel, I think by definition, I would have to say Kanye's the better MC.
I'm
Now,
about to say,
I know people would bring up
let's unpack
the
it, Mike.
writer stuff though.
What verse of the year contenders has Kendrick given us? Like, name one time Kendrick really had verse of the year, and don't tell me that control shit. Like, name one
I
time
want to
he had
ask
the
the
verse of
people.
the year,
I
Mike.
want to ask the people in the chat. When's the last time Kendrick had verse of the year? Y'all think?
No, has he ever had verse of the year, Mike? Not when. Has it happened?
You don't think he's ever had? Nah, I think that might be a bit too far. You don't
Mike,
think in
name the
2017? I would give. I would say Phil could have been verse of the year in 2017, just off the top of my head. The second verse on Phil. Patricio with the
I'll
super
tell you
chat
what, Mike.
says, "Shout out to Brandon, Chicago in the chat." But Coop, I share your annoyance with K Dot. Your annoyance, excuse me, with K Dot. He's not top 10. I think he's lost his touch with the culture. Ah, is he out of touch? Is it out of touch or just I don't have it anymore? I think that when people talk about having writer's block, those are real things. And that's why, to me, we have to start looking, well, I've always been like this, but we got to look at the totality of people's careers. We in hip hop tend to give people who had like a short career with big highs and big peaks, we give them favoritism over somebody like a Snoop Dogg who has a long career and never stopped, or even Common. But we'll just inflate the person who had a short yet very very high peak. But these are the things that happen in a long career that show like, look, do you have what it takes to last 10 years, 15 years? And right now, Kendrick is showing us that he doesn't. We're talking
Mike,
Section 80, Good Kid, Mad City, To Pimp a Butterfly, damn. That's it. Everything else after that is shaky or nothing. And really, everything else after that outspans the time period that he was active, correct?
correct. Mike, how about this? This is what I'm saying. Do you think he's better than Common?
I think in a vacuum, one could say he could out rap Common, but I can't say that he's a better MC than Common. No, I can't.
Mike,
The albums and
Mike,
the
what vac?
longevity just aren't there.
But Mike, you keep talking about this vacuum. What vacuum are you talking about?
I'm
See, when I
trying
talk about
to
Randy
double
Moss,
tap.
when I talk, How about this? This is what I'm saying. When I talk about Randy Moss being better than Jerry Rice in a vacuum, it's like, oh no, go see that Dallas Cowboy game where he had 3 catches for 163 yards and 3 touchdowns. That's the shit I'm talking about. Kendrick don't have no shit like that to say that he's better than a Common, a Redman, a Ghostface, a Raekwon, a Scarface, a Ice Cube, a Big Daddy Kane. No, he don't. Where his ain't no half stepping at, Mike?
Let me say this, and you're right. I want to say this though. 6 Train, ASAP Rocky's record that had Kendrick, Yellow Wolf, Big Crit. Big Crit closed it out. Had Joey Badass on there. I'll say Action Bronson was on there. Danny Brown. And forgive me if I'm missing anybody. I think that's everybody on there. Kendrick didn't overwhelmingly sound like the best rapper on that record. And usually when you have somebody who is top 2 all time or even top 10 all time, when they get on a record with other great MCs or other MCs who are capable, it's clear who the best MC on that record is. And you mentioned Kane. There's always a debate with Kane and Cool G Rap on the Symphony. But to me, obviously, Cool G Rap had the lyricism and the words and the play. But as far as that presence on the mic, that was all Kane for me on the Symphony. And you can hear those type of things. Those 2 guys are all-time greats. I didn't feel like on 6 Train, Kendrick was the best MC on the record. I actually think Crit was the best MC on the record.
Hold on. So let's go to the Symphony right quick, Mike, since you're bringing it up. First of all, Cool G Rap and Kane took more time than Craig G and Master Ace, like bar-wise, because they were very well aware that the other person was getting on the record.
Right, right.
You feel what I'm saying? And so, do I think Kane has a superior verse on the Symphony? I do. But Mike, it's neck and neck. It's toe to toe. It's blow for blow. You know what I'm saying? It's really there's really just a couple of moments where Kane kind of exceeds Cool G Rap. A lot of that is Mike presence, Mike. You're right. Because lyrically, Cool G Rap, the way he starts, Marley gives the slice. I get nice, and and my voice is twice as horrifying as Vincent Price. Like Cool G Rap is going crazy on there, Mike. But what I'm saying is that when you're great and somebody else is great is in the room, you tend to go crazy. They both went crazy on that record because they're all-time great MCs, Mike. They went crazy on that record about each other and about the competitive fervor. And even if there's not anybody else in the room, that's why I'm saying is like, well, no. If he's this great MC and this great top-level lyricist, it's like, where's the microphone fiend?
I think the mic presence, I'm with you. And I think the mic presence is what Kendrick misses.
Where's the dead presidents? Where's the it ain't hard to tell, the world is yours? Like, where are these records?
Hold on. Let's stop at dead presidents. You're right. I mean, we don't have that from Kendrick. We could even go to The Game. You and I were talking offline. I think The Game is probably hip-hop's most underrated MC when we factor in everything. There's so many times where The Game has gotten on a record spazzed out,
just got busy.
And you're right. I mean, does Kendrick have that dead president's moment? Like, who wanna bet us that we don't trust leather, attack cheddar forever, live treacherous, Ali, etc. Like, what Kendrick records do we get up for and get excited about quoting? Like, we were just quoting the Supreme Clientele shit. Maybe we old.
But that's what I'm saying. Is like, that's what I mean. Is like, well, where's your half step and where's your microphone fiend? Like, where's that record that lyrically?
My left stroke just went viral.
That's what I'm saying. Is like, if he's as great, then show me where it's equitable at. Is all I'm really asking. Like Mike, he doesn't even have like. When Big's on kicking the door, get in that ass quick, fast like Ramadan. It's that rap phenomenon, Don Dada. Fuck Papa. You got to call me Francis MH. White intake light totes, tote iron. Was told then shoot out, stay low, and keep firing. Keep extra clips for extra shit. Now who's the next to flip on that cat with that grip on rap? The most shady. Frankie baby. Ain't no telling where I may be. May see me in DC at Howard Homecoming with my man Capone drumming fucking something. You should know my stilo went from 10 G's for blow to 30 G's to show to orgies with hoes I never seen before. So Jesus, get off the notorious. Peanuts before I squeeze and bust. If the beef between us, we can settle it. With the chrome and metal shit, I make it hot like a kettle. Get you delicate, you better get who sent you. You still pedal shit. I got more ride than Great Adventure.
It's funny. I was just listening to that song today, man, and I was thinking like,
where is that at, Mike?
ass.
Where is that at? All three verses are like that. This goes out for those who choose to use disrespectful views on the king of NY. Fuck that. Why try? Throw bleach in your eye. Now you're brailing it. Snatch that white shit. I'm scaling it. Conscience of your nonsense in 88. Sold more powder than Johnson and Johnson. Tote steel like Bronson. Vigilante. You want to get on, son? You need to ask me. Ain't no other kings in these rap things. They siblings. Nothing but my children. One shot, they disappearing. It's ill when MCs used to be on funny shit. Took home, ready to die. Listen, study shit. Now they on some money shit. Successful out the blue. They lightweight. Fragile. My 9 milli make the wife shake. That's why my money never funny. You still recruiting. Stupid. You don't have no shit like that, Mike, where literally it excites you when you hear that nigga rap and you're like, oh my God, this is one of the best rappers I ever heard. Where's that moment at? Where is it?
Super Chat says, as a K-Dot fan, I'm not afraid to admit that Kendrick right now is just not top 10 for this era.
Like, how about this, Mike? If he were to get on a record right now, like, let's say there was a posse cut right now, and Conway was on there, and Benny was on there, and Cole was on there. Where is he coming out, Mike?
It's one track. You're right. I don't know.
And Freddie, Mike.
We've never seen
like, where's Freddie's classic verses at? Shit, where are Kendrick's classic verses at? Why y'all talking about Freddie?
Coop, we've never seen it, man. Because when MCs start coming outside again, Kendrick went back inside. MJ with the super chat.
Kid, Man City, Mike, but I'm gonna call a spade a spade.
Yeah, MJ with the super chat says your annoyance with K-Dot being placed so high is how I feel about LeBron being ranked second. 1 MJ, 2 Magic, 3 Bird, 4 Kobe, 5 Duncan, 8 LeBron. It's not the same, but I feel you.
I objectively have LeBron at number 2.
Yeah.
But I prefer Magic, Kareem. Yeah.
I'm not going to lie. I think objectively, LeBron is a better basketball player than Kobe Bryant. But if you ask me who I'd rather go see play in their prime, going to see Kobe. And maybe I'm saying that because I have seen LeBron in Miami many times. I've never seen Kobe live, I don't think. So,
I mean, for a game, I'm taking Kobe and Larry Bird and a bunch of other guys over LeBron. If we just talk about it, it's like, oh no, it's all on the line. It's like I'm not taking LeBron if it's on the line.
Yeah, not over Bird or Kobe or Jordan or Magic or even Isaiah. Shit.
No. Yeah. Even Isaiah. Thank you, Mike. Even Isaiah. It's like, no, we got one game.
Yeah, we got one.
Isaiah.
Andrew Williams with the super chat says Kendrick don't have no Take It in Blood.
Right. That's what I'm saying, Mike. And so
Kendrick, you're gonna have to prove us wrong. Yeah, I think what's happened with Kendrick, Coop, and I know we probably got to go in a second. I think he got ranked too high too soon before all the work was done. I think that the potential was there to continuously do those things, but what happened was people jumped the gun because of the era we were in. They were ready to move on to the next thing, and they crowned him before necessary. And what happens when you do that sometimes, guys feel like they don't have to do anything. The hunger's gone. And you know, Kendrick fans or even Kendrick's camp or whatever, they could say whatever about us. But I think everyone can agree, fan or not, the hunger that Kendrick Lamar had for hip-hop music and rap music is non-existent right now. You can't tell me this guy from the Hillbilly shit, from the Mr. Morale album, and this thing we just heard at the Chanel joint is hungry. He's not. J. Cole sounds hungry in 2023.
Mike, juxtapose that to the other greats, though.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Like, there are dudes that were literally here 10, 15, 20 years before him that sound hungrier right now if they were to do a verse than him on the mic. That's why I brought up Ice Cube, Mike. Like, the last Ice Cube verse that I heard, I was like, oh, shit. Like, this nigga can really, like, still, like, rap his ass off.
Why is Black Thought hungry? Why is Black Thought hungry? He ain't got to do this. This man's got a gig with the Jimmy Fallon Tonight Show from probably here into the rest of his life. He ain't got to be doing this. He's, he does it. Like, why do we
Mike,
even get cheat codes, man? He didn't have to
well,
make
how about
that.
this? Okay, so since you're bringing up thought, does Kendrick even have an aquamarine?
No, no, no. I'm trying to think of it, and I'm not just saying that off a whim. No, Aquamarine is incredible.
It's very problematic that he doesn't, Mike, and he's getting all this love and all this high ranking. And I'll be guilty of it, Mike, because the article that I wrote after the review for Damn, I said that he was creeping into the top 10 conversation. I
But
was
that,
wrong, Mike.
well, you couldn't
I was
foresee what was
wrong.
about to happen. You were basing those projections on Section 80, and then us getting Good Kid, Mad City, and then getting To Pimp a Butterfly, and then getting Damn, all in like a what 6, 7 year time frame. So you couldn't imagine that he didn't continue on. But that's why we have to see things play out too.
I was wrong. I was so wrong, Mike. Like, because here's the thing about it. I think about all the guys that I put him ahead of, and I think about the stuff that they've even done since then. And then I think about the people who have emerged, like a Freddie, like a Conway. I think about Black Thought having solo album material that is dope now. And I'm like, oh no, I'm not putting you ahead of Black Thought. I'm not putting you ahead of Common. I'm not putting you ahead of Redman. I'm not putting you ahead of Raekwon, Ghostface, Scarface, Ice Cube. No, I'm not
when
putting you
was
ahead of Kane.
when was that Black Thought freestyle on Flex? Was that
It's
after
been a
Damn?
minute. Feels that way. Around the same time. Like, think about this. If Kendrick had the verse of the year for Feel in 2017, Mike, Conway and Westside made the cow in 2018.
That's fair.
You feel me?
I think the
Like the
Cow's
cow
verse is better
2018.
than the Phil verse. I'm just gonna be honest.
That's what I'm trying to say,
Yeah.
Mike.
Yeah. Mad Max with the super chat says, "Coop, how he gonna have that when he sounds like Ab Soul taught him how to rap?"
Mad Max, stop that. Stop
Esquire
that.
with the super chat says,
Me and Mad Max was getting along for this episode, and then he got to go and mess it up with the Ab Soul shit.
Esquire with the super chat says, "Y'all just wax poetic about the importance of album versus verses, but now you're disqualifying Dot because he doesn't have a classic verse. Laughing my ass off. No one's saying he doesn't
No.
have a classic verse. We're talking about verse of the year in each year, and
Yeah.
I think he might
But
have one
we're
17.
okay, but also too, Esquire, I believe we started this off by saying he hasn't made any quality material in 7 years. The verse shit is just some icing on the cake. The cake is the fact that there hasn't been any quality album in 7 years from this guy.
Okay, is there a verse of the year on Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers for 2022?
Fuck no.
I want to ask the people in
Fuck
the chat. I already know what you're going.
no.
So you don't think that Father Time or My Eye Sober?
What year? Hold on. What year did that trash come
That's
out?
2022. May
It's
of
been 2 years
2022, May
already.
13th, actually. Andrew Williams with the super chat says, I got number one, MJ, number two, Kobe, and then there's everybody else. I love the Kobe generation, man. The love y'all got for Kobe.
They ride for Kobe, Mike.
They really
They
do.
ride for Kobe.
I love Kobe
Here's
too.
the reality of the matter, Mike. Nobody want to talk about how Tim Duncan better than Kobe and Shaq because they had each other and he didn't have anybody comparable to them, and it still got 5 fucking rings like Kobe and one more than Shaq. But whatever.
I'm not mad at that assessment. Just being objective.
Mike, you sure it's 2022 and not 2021?
I thought it was 2022 because it came
Okay,
out my
so
40th
Mike,
birthday, I believe. Yeah.
so Mike, the Forever Story came out in 2022.
Mm-hmm.
King's Disease 3 came out in 2022. Soul Sold Separately came out in 2022. Cheat Codes came out in 2022. What verse of the year contender he got better than the stuff that's on those albums, Mike? I'd
Yeah,
love to hear it.
because the verse of
I'd
the
love to
year
hear
was
it.
you mentioned Aquamarine. I think it was verse 1 of Aquamarine. I think that was verse of the year
Correct.
22. I don't think he has a verse on Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers better than that, in my opinion. MJ with the
Mike,
super chat says,
Mike,
"Go ahead."
Benny's verse on Blow for Blow was 2022 too. He got a
Was
verse better
that?
than Benny's verse on Blow for Blow. That's Kiss the Ring. That's 2022.
It sure was. I don't know why I thought Kiss the Ring was 2023. Man, these years are just rolling by. MJ with the super chat says Kobe on a stacked Miami team wins 4 chips. Kobe on a stacked Cavs team wins. Kobe with AD wins the chip. LeBron only won when he had the deck, when the deck is stacked. Um, do you think that LeBron James would have won with those Laker teams that Kobe had with Gasol, Bynum, and Lamar Odom?
Now you know how I feel about this. First of all, I only feel like Kobe really should have won one of those. Boston didn't finish the deal, even though LA had home court advantage. But no, I don't think that I don't think that LeBron would have won with Pau Gasol being his right hand man. Because as much as I love Pau Gasol, Anthony Davis is the superior player, and it took pretty much a pandemic and then being in a bubble for them to win that championship, Mike. Because I think if they have to go outside, because people forget they won that title because of how Anthony Davis played, because the pressure was taken away from having to go to other people's arenas.
Imagine Kobe on that Miami team with Wade and Bosh.
Oh, Mike, they win all 4 of those titles.
And on the flip
If
side,
Kobe,
I think about this too. Imagine if LeBron was in Golden State instead of KD.
oh, Mike, same results, Mike, because
Yeah.
Golden State pretty much won everything when KD was healthy.
Yeah.
Same results. That was
James
the thing.
Smith.
That's why when people say that, it's like no, like they was about to go 3-peat. If KD doesn't get hurt, it's a 3-peat. So it's like it would have been the same thing. But that Kobe shit, like listen to what I'm saying. First of all, like people forget Wade averaged 27 points per game in the Dallas finals.
He did.
It was LeBron who didn't show up. If Kobe and Wade played together, even though Dwayne Wade, whose knees were hurting and went down from 27 points in the finals to, I don't know, 23 points in the finals, good night, Mike.
I
Because
mean,
even the old Dwayne Wade,
I saw them play together on the Olympic team. They look good together. Pause.
they were
James
They
Smith.
were the best players on the floor.
James Smith with the super chat says, I think once Mr. Morale won the Grammy for the best rap album, Billboard felt like he's 5 for 5 with his albums.
Oh.
Yeah.
Mm.
That's what they thought.
Mm.
I mean, the truth of the matter is, I think that there's a lot more to prove in the Kendrick Lamar story, especially after narratives like we don't deserve his music and, getting an album like Mr. Morale in a year like 2022. Because regardless of how people really feel about the album, whether you think it was okay, great, or trash, I don't think that most people would put it ahead of King Disease 3 or
Magic.
Magic.
Oh, Magic, I guess, came out the year before.
Yeah,
but yeah,
came out.
it's not better. Mike, that shit's not better than KD3, Cheat Code, Soul separately.
Yes.
It's not better than Currency's Continuance. There's a whole lot of rap albums.
I don't think it's better than JID's album.
The Forever Story was dope.
The Forever Story is a better album. And if we put aside who made the album or whatnot, and just
got better rhymes too, Mike. It's got better rhymes and better stories. JID's album has better rhymes and better stories than Kendrick's album from the same year. Period.
And honestly, it has more legs too because he has a song right now that's still going because of a challenge.